Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Northeast Style Sports Show here on the Willie Doodle channel. With me, Liam. Hope everyone's having a great night. Hunter couldn't make it. I did text him, though, so maybe he could make it. I'll see what he says. Hope everyone's having a great week. We have one more day till the weekend, guys. Almost Friday. Time to post the Almost Friday posts like I always like to do. Some good stuff. Some Friday beers. It's episode 53. It's currently May 7th, 2026. Let's hope everyone's really having a good day. And let's get right into it. A funny, not so funny topic. A minor league hockey fans absolutely lose it in an overtime goal. Kind of Pittsburgh Penguins related. One of the funniest, most chaotic sports stories this last week came out of minor league hockey, where fans completely melted down after a controversial overtime playoff goal in a game between the Hershey Bears and the Wilkes-Barre. Oh my god. I used to have my last company had offices in all these places. Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. So what's funny is, these are both teams in PA. Hershey's in PA. They have their own team. I think that's the Flyers team, or it actually might be, if I'm not mistaken, the DC team. It might be a different team outside of PA. I know Wilkes-Barre Scranton is for Pittsburgh Penguins minor league team. The game itself was already intense, packed, playoff atmosphere. Tied late, both fan bases were on edge the entire night. It was probably a crazy game to see. I'm actually mad I missed it. Then there came a moment that sent the game into a frenzy in overtime. Wilkes-Barre, scored what looked like a game-winning goal. The referees immediately singled good goal, but thousands of Hershey fans inside the arena absolutely lost their minds because many of them thought the puck had been kicked in illegally or interfered with the goalie. Crazy. Within seconds, the crowd reaction went from angry to full sport movie chaos. Fans started throwing beer cans, popcorns, towels, Bottlegate, and basically anything not bolting down onto the ice of a stadium. Some were screaming at referees while arena security tried to calm sections down. Videos from the stands immediately went viral online because it looked less like a hockey game and a wrestling pay-per-view event. So make sure you guys look that up. That's probably crazy. The funniest part, replay footage later showed that the officials were probably right. The puck appeared to go in legally. So after all the outrage, the internet quickly flipped from worst call ever to roasting the fans for launching a full rebelling over a goal that actually counted. Social media had a field day with it. Hockey media fans joke that minor league hockey is the closest thing to American European soccer chaos. Others compared the crowd of Philadelphia sports fans to energy drinks. One viral meme, some arena with a caps and $2 beer night was a mistake. So that's funny. I always like watching it, especially how we see it with our Phantoms here in Youngstown. We'll go here into F1. Last weekend, we had another F1 race. It was awesome to see. It was the sprint. We had a sprint in Miami and a race. Awesome to see. Lando Norris ended up actually winning the sprint, and Kimi Antonelli won the race. There was a lot of weather concerns going on with Sunday with rain. Ended up not raining that much at all, so not bad at all. There was a lot of strategy gambles. Really in the race that changed things up. A little bit of sprint drama as well. The sprint on Saturday was won by Norris, like I said before, but which finally broke Mercedes' dominance this season. McLaren looked incredibly fast over one lap, and during the shorter runs, with Norris and Piastri finished 1-2, ahead of Charles Leclerc and the Ferrari doing well. But Sunday belonged to A.K. Kimi Antonelli. The 19-year-old controlled the race like a veteran. Every time Norris started closing the gap, Antonelli responded with another fast sector. Fans online were calling it ice-cold rookie behavior. And the comparisons to early Max Verstappen are getting louder every week, and he really is. He doesn't dive bomb like Max I've seen yet, and they won't really have to change regulations like they did with Max. Yuck. In my opinion, but we'll really have to see because I think he's just going off. It's amazing. So I'm happy for it. I'm happy he's winning. We'll go a little bit more here too in a second. Basically, it's interesting because Mercedes suddenly looked transformed under the new regulations. Their car appears stable, efficient on tire wear, and extremely quick in medium-speed corners. So it looks like the change of a little bit of regulations really didn't nerf Mercedes too much. Antonelli has now won 3 out of 4 races this season, which is absurd for a rookie campaign and awesome to see. Meanwhile, well, really, I don't know why they call him a rookie because he was a rookie last year. So, second year. For a second-year guy, young guy, that's crazy. Meanwhile, McLaren have actually had the fastest overall package on certain tracks, but they seem slightly inconsistent over race distance, and they have lost races over strategy. Norris and Piastri are both scoring huge points, though, which is keeping construction battles tight, and we don't know how it goes on. Ferrari had another almost weekend, like we always talk about. Leclerc showed strong pace throughout practice and qualifying, and Lewis Hamilton had moments where Ferrari looked competitive. But for strategy, conversations are once again dominating F1 Twitter and Reddit because the team is still struggling to execute clean Sundays, kind of like McLaren right now. And sometimes, guys, it sets a shot in the dark. You'll get that. It's interesting how F1 is, in my opinion. And there's also Max Verstappen. But also, real quick, even Leclerc for Ferrari lost a podium late after a spin while battling near the front, kind of like Max early in the race. And there's Verstappen. Might be the strangest storylines of the season so far. It's still fast, but not untouchable fast anymore. Verstappen has been fighting the car more than the fans are used to seeing, especially with the tire management. He's still grinding out point finishes, but the aura of automatic dominance is gone for the first time in years, and we've kind of seen that for the last 2 years, Max trailing off. Talked about that a little bit. Another huge talking point right now is the continued explosion in popularity in the United States. Miami looked more like a Super Bowl, and it was at a stadium anyway, Hard Rock in Miami, so it kind of makes sense. Then a traditional rake weekend, celebrities packed the paddock. Social media engagement was massive, and F1 leadership is openly talking about trying to compete culturally with leagues like the NFL and NBA in America. That's crazy. I don't make an American F1 league or something. That'd be crazy. Or maybe back IndyCar a little bit. Now attention shifts to the next race for Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal, which will actually be the same weekend of Indy 500, which is in 2 weeks. Not next weekend, not the weekend after that, basically 3 weekends. But, you know, it's, I believe it's May 24th? Yep, May 24th. So 3 weekends from now. But really kind of like almost 2 full weeks, I guess, which would be really cool to see. And also, there's talks, once again, about how they're probably going to go back to V8s with full biofuel. So full environmentally friendly biofuel. So a lot of times, like algae. It's interesting with F1. A lot of these companies, you know, the competitiveness of it to make a better F1 car and just to win. It created a lot of biofuels. The number used to be 5. I think now it's a lot more. And these fuels, too, are also fully sustainable. Actually, Mercedes had a huge issue because they were late with their fuel because they had issues of being fully sustainable across the entire supply chain for that fuel, which is insane. So awesome to see, actually, in the sport. Additionally, the track can complete reshuffle things again here in Canada. Traditionally, here in Canada, rewards strong braking stability, confidence over curbs, and straight line efficiency, and aggressive overtaking that could favor Red Bull more than Miami did. Verstappen has historically been excellent in Montreal-style circuits. So many fans expect a major rebound this weekend from him. So we'll have to see, especially if that Red Bull with that wing, because I don't know if you guys seen, Ferrari had a wing, had a crazy design in testing that instead of this so what we talked about before, instead of this opening up like this, wings open, wings closed, wings open, open air, it flipped 180, and since the wings are a little bit curved, so like open, close, when you flip it 180, it creates lift. Ferrari created that, they say, at least they came out first with testing about it, and then also they revealed it here in Miami for a race. So did Red Bull. Red Bull talked about before how they also found this loophole. They just didn't test it. So it's interesting that something they didn't test, they brought out to Miami. You know what I mean? Were they developing it late like Ferrari was? It's weird to me. Because you should have tested it before you just thrown it on the car to drive in a weekend. You know what I mean? You had all this testing you could have done. If you had it ready then. It's a thing. Some key predictions heading into Canada's Antonelli enters the championship favorite. And Norris probably has the best chance to challenge Mercedes right now with how good those Red Bulls are doing. If Verstappen feels due for a statement win, but I don't know if he's probably not getting it. Ferrari could also enter for a podium, which if they do, Verstappen's not winning. Wet weather could create total intensity though, and Verstappen does drive better in the wet, so it'll be interesting for that. So right now the championship, we have Kimi Antonelli, Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc. But actually, it's not exactly the list. Sorry, my bad. That's like, I guess, like power rankings. But the actual points, let's see who we have. Driver standings right now, we have number 1, Kimi Antonelli with 100 points. George Russell second with 80. Charles Leclerc in third with 59. Lando Norris in fourth with 51. Lewis Hamilton tied for fourth with 51. Oscar Piastri with 6 with 43. Max Verstappen in 7th. Yikes with 26. He can get out of his Red Bull contract. Behrman in 8th with 17. Gasly in 9th with 16. Liam Lawson in 10th with 10 points. Yeet. Franco Colapinto 11th. Arthur Lindblad 12th. Isaac Hadjar 13th. Carlos Sainz 14th. Gabriel Bortoleto 15th. Esteban Ocon 16th. Alexander Albon 17th, Nico Hulkenberg 18th, Valtteri Bottas for my team Caddy 19th, Sergio Perez 20th. All these guys have 0 points after Hulkenberg at 18th. Fernando Alonso 0 points, Lance Stroll 0 points. Constructors, right now, Mercedes in first at 180, Ferrari in second at 110, McLaren in third at 94, Red Bull at fourth for 30, yikes, big drop off. Fifth, Alpine at 23. 6, Haas with 18, 7, Racing Bulls with 14, 8th, Williams with 15, 9, Audi with 2, 10, and tied for 10 and 11 is Cadillac and Aston Martin, both with 0. Here at For results, we see a little bit below me for Miami, and since we have some time, I won't be following up for next week here that quick. That'll probably be next week for the next race in Canada below me. Also, right now we have the Cavs playing. Just a quick update. I'll go into it actually after this. So for results for Miami, it was Kimi Antonelli, Norris, Piastri, Russell, Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton in 6th, Pinto doing a good race in 7th, Charles Leclerc in 8th. He actually hit the wall, so he lost a lot of spots. Sainz in 9th, Albon in 10th, Behrman, Bortoleto, Ocon in 13th, Arthur Lindbergh in 14th, Alonso doing pretty well in 15th, Sergio Perez in 16th, Lance Stroll 17th, Valtteri Bottas plus 2 laps, Cadillac 18th. Retirements were Hulkenberg, Liam Lawson, Pierre Gasly, and Ajik Hadjar. Red Bull really always getting, I believe he crashed. Those retirements. Right now the Cavs are down by 4, so they actually got a little bit closer with 2 minutes and 13 left in the third. Next IndyCar race we have coming up, we talked a lot about it last week, is the Sunso Grand Prix at the legendary Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. It officially kicks off in the month of May, which means IndyCar is about to hype into overdrive. I'm excited. I go to the Indy 500, 350,000 people. Kentucky Downs only has 160 to 180 people show up. That is insane. Double for Kentucky Derby, guys, for a race. It's a bigger track, 2.5 mile track. For oval, this is a road course. Race is always fascinating because it's held on the Indianapolis road course. Before teams switch over to oval prep for the Indy 500 later this month, actually different setups on the oval as well. Drivers have to balance going for all-out win while also trying not to destroy equipment or momentum before the biggest race in American motorsports, and that is true. Right now, the biggest story in IndyCar is simple. Alex Palou is once again the man everyone else is chasing. And also for the Indy 500 numbers, I believe in Talladega and Daytona, they only get 160 to 180, sometimes 140. They don't pull the numbers that the Indy track does. The Indy track has seats everywhere. You could see it. Massive. A lot of these tri-ovals like Daytona or Talladega, they really only have grandstands on the triangle. So a lot of times a tri-oval kind of looks like this. You have 2 major turns and 1 little baby turn. The grandstands are always on the outskirt of here. But really for Indy, there's grandstands on most of that track. It is crazy actually how much grandstands there is. Where it's probably 1/3 for that tri-oval. It's probably 50 to 75% on Indy, and then everyone on the inside on a bigger track, square track like that. Palou is absolutely dominated going back into Indy talk. Early part of the 2026 season. We kind of already talked about that. Meanwhile, it's kind of interesting to see Kyle Kirkwood. He's kind of emerging as the hottest driver of the series so far. The Andretti driver has been fast everywhere and currently sits second in the standings after a strong start of the year on a couple wins. Another major storyline is David Malukas winning, joining Polensky and immediately becoming a serious contender. We kind of knew about that with his times with McLaren, but it's good that he's developed and was able to get in that car quick. He's been better expected early in the season. He currently sits third in points and locks inconsistently for top-tier equipment. And also, he's just always been there. He's comfortable in that top-tier Penske equipment. Meanwhile, Pato O'Ward continues to be one of the most popular drivers in sports. Fans love his aggressive driving style, personality, and willingness to go for impossible overtakes. He's consistently near the front and feels overdue for another big win, especially with 500. I would love to see that. IndyCar itself recently highlighted O'Ward consistently as one of the key early season storylines. However, one of the biggest trending topics entering Indy is whether anybody could stop Chip Ganassi racing on the ISM road course as well. Alex Palou has been very well at these road courses. I believe, like I said, he won back-to-back. He's owned this event recently, winning 3 out of the last 4 races here. Crazy. It suits their setup philosophy perfectly, especially in long-run tire management and braking zones. Another major talking point, that a little bit last week, is a new push-to-pass adjustments. Push-to-pass adjustments. This series expanded usage opportunities for 2026 to encourage more overtaking and strategy variation. And fans are debating whether it's making racing better or creating artificial drama, and I think they've already went back on it. Because if you could just unlimitedly use it whenever you want, but you still have a certain number, it's just there's too much inconsistency. It could lead to even crashes because you have the front of the field acting all crazy with it and the back of the field maybe is not, or vice versa. Or you have one guy doing it and one guy's not. And, like, you have that now. You do. But when you can constantly do it, let's say you can constantly do it on an oval where you're going all out. Like, that momentum, you can go faster. And they talked about this because push-to-passes allow how you get these high speeds at Indy. The hybrid system is how you get these high speeds at Indy. Even a 500, you get to 230, which is crazy. So it'll be interesting to see. Going to NASCAR, this NASCAR series just came off one of its wildest intermediate track races of the season, where Texas Motor Speedway, where Chase Elliott grabbed a huge win. I think it was Chase. No, it was Kyle Busch at Fort Worth for 200 and completely reignited the championship conversation. He led 86 laps and survived a fanatic late restart to hold the lead off Denny Hamlin for less than half a second. Alex Bowman finished third. It was crazy, while points leader Tyler Reddick came in fourth. After another extremely consistent day, my guy Ryan Blaney placed extremely far back, I think like 31, but he finished 10th. So good job, Blaney. I do think he spun out on one of the series, got crashed. Sucks to see, but he was able to do well. Or maybe not, I might be wrong. He may just... No, I think he did finish all of them. That was Dega we're talking about. Well, Blaney crashed. No, Dega. We talked about that last week, though. But there's a video where Kyle Busch... I believe that's his name, because I think Kurt's already retired. He was battling the lead with Elliott and also Hocevar, who got the pole, 77. And Kyle Busch starts raging, and his crew chief goes, "Buddy, it's been like 3 years since we've been in the top 10. Can you calm down?" And he starts getting more mad. He's like, "Oh, well, do you need a diaper or something?" He's like basically telling his crew chief, "Well, you're the one that needs to calm down," even though like that's the guy that's raging. And yeah, your crew chief doesn't need to say, "Hey, you haven't been in the top 10 in 3 years, BMing you." I kind of agree. That's a toxic workplace environment. He would be fired the next day if that was my crew chief. But also, you know what I mean? He got cut off by Hocevar. He's driving kind of crazy next to him. So I get it as a driver, but your crew chief just saying crap and that makes you want to crash out more. That's NASCAR for you. Texas had pretty much everything NASCAR fans love, with tire strategy, long green flag runs, multiple cautions, and a dramatic sprint to a finish. The biggest trending topic online afterwards was Elliott finally looking like classic Chase Elliott again, which is cool to see. Reddick still leads overall, but Hamlin and Elliott both gained ground after Texas, which is cool to see. One second is Reddick with 5.26, Hamlin 2, with 4.17, Chase Elliott third with 4.09, Christopher Bell, and our boy Ryan Blaney in fifth. Toyota is also dominating via manufacturer standings so far. Getting that win at Talladega for Chevy was actually really nice. This weekend for NASCAR, actually at Watkins Glen for the next race, we completely changed the style of racing. Texas is all about speed and aero balance, but Watkins Glen is one of the most technical road courses. Drivers have to manage braking stones, sifting, tire wear, and fuel strategy not to destroy their cars in the tight corners, kind of like Texas. One of my favorite tracks to see. I love all kinds of tracks. I don't care. I'm not an oval guy or a track guy, a road course guy, street circuit guy. I like watching them go fast, even when they go right. It'd be interesting. A lot of people are saying, can these road course specialists break through, like SVG, Sam Van Gissenberg? But we never see Elliott, has been well. Reddick has been well here. We even to guys like Hamlin, even Blaney, been consistent here. So it'll be interesting. Going on next, right now the Cavs at the end of the third are down by 4, 75-79. We'll go over real quick. Pittsburgh Penguins. We talked a little bit how we thought they were going to lose their series. And they ended up losing the series. The series ended with the Flyers defeating the Penguins in 6 games. The story matchup was how Pittsburgh nearly pulled off a historical comeback after falling into a brutal 3-0 series hole. Early in the series, they looked overwhelmed, like we talked about. Philadelphia came out looking heavy forechecking, aggressive hitting. I talked about it for Game 1. It was crazy how aggressive, constant pressure, especially defense. Game 3 was especially a disaster for Penguins, losing 5-2 in a game full of penalties, scrums, and frustrations. At one point, it felt more like a UFC event, how much they were fighting. They were mad about how much these youngins were all in their face. Fans online were immediately comparing to the infamous 2012 Penguins-Flyers playoff because both teams completely lost emotional control multiple times. One of the biggest problems for Pittsburgh was the power play, which we've seen historically as well. With a team loaded like we have, we just not consistently capitalize. on special teams, which is sad to see. Analysts and fans kept pointing to missed opportunities in Game 1 and 2, but and suddenly we kept it alive. Facing elimination, they won back-to-back games and made the series generally scary for Philadelphia, with veterans like Crosby, Letang, and Malkin finally starting to control games. Biggest surprise of the series may have been goaltender Silvas. He became an instant fan favorite after several clutch performances that kept Pittsburgh alive. Social media exploded with debates over he's now become the long-term standing goalie, and I kind of agree. Game 5 gave us hope. Survived a 3-2. Game 6 ended in heartbreaking fashion, though. Pittsburgh pushed Flyers into overtime before Pittsburgh defenseman Cam York scored a series-winning goal in overtime, ending Pittsburgh's season in brutal fashion. Flyers goalie Dan Vladar was outstanding, stopping 42 shots in the shutout, went crazy. All of his wins were insane. Even a tough loss, Pittsburgh is surprisingly optimistic. But honestly, it's one of the biggest trending topics right now. I think we talked about it last week, actually, because I talked about Malkin and how he was the last one to leave, first one to leave. Crosby was the last one to leave. So he's probably might be retiring. One of the biggest trending topics right now is I was supposed to be rebuilding, but instead they became competitive much faster than expected. But I don't think we'll be building with all these old guys. We do have these young guys like Ben Kindle, who I loved this year. He did very well. They said he went to Northeast. Shout out my stepsister, Allie. Igor Chinnikov, great trade. Emo Slaughterbaum, heard him a lot too. Harrison Bunky, heard about a little more too. And Ruker Gordy, heard about a little too. And fans are excited more about the future core around Crosby, especially if we can get some chemistry. Because it seemed like early in the playoffs we just didn't have a chemistry. It was crazy. Another huge trend discussing is a veteran core. Will Malkin return or retire? Could Carlson get traded because of his inconsistencies? How many years does Crosby realistically have left? And is this the final end of the era for dynasty of Crosby, Malkin, and Letang? And I think it might. Letang might play some more. We might not trade Carlson, but if we get a good offer, I might take it because scoring, he has never been what he's been before. But I kind of like what it's seen. Crosby recently made headlines by supporting publicly to bring Malkin back, and fans were emotional online because many want the iconic trio to stay together for a long run. There's also frustration in Pittsburgh sports overall because the city's major teams continue to struggle in the postseason. Pittsburgh Steelers suck, though. I'm only a Penguins fan. The Penguins lost extended Pittsburgh's major playoff frustration streak. Hey, go Browns! Baker Mayfield being Pittsburgh, Big Ben, making Big Ben cry in Heinz Field. Love it. Which has become a running joke online among fans. It's not the Browns anymore. For Browns oh my God, the Browns, I love it. It ain't us, guys. It ain't us. We've won championships, 2016, so have they, to be fair. But the fact they haven't won playoff games, the Browns have won more playoff games. Our Cavs winning playoff series, even though Cavs ain't right now, they sucking out against this team. They're actually winning by 2 points right now, thank God. Compared to the last few seasons this year, it felt different, which is true. We looked younger, faster, and more competitive, which is very true. So for Cavs series, we lost our first game against Detroit, which is sad to see. We won our last series. Game 7 we won, which was amazing to see. But we lost against Detroit Game 1 by 10, 1-1-1 to 101. Mitchell had 23 points. We need more points. Mobley had 9 rebounds, and Harden had 7 assists. We need better all around the board. Especially to start winning. Sorry about that. Yeah, right now, so far, Mitchell with 10 minutes left in the fourth has 25 points, so doing better. Schroeder has only 4, Mobley has 9. So normally Schroeder has been doing way better for us. Sorry, not the cat. Where is our boy? Harden has 25 points as well. 10 points. So that's kind of what's helping us. He's 0 for 3 from a 10 free, though. So they're not scoring that much either, but god dang, maybe it's a defense battle. I'll stop to listen. It's on Prime Video. Saturday, we played Detroit at 3 on Peacock. Monday, we played Detroit at 8 on Peacock, NBC. Same with on Saturday, Peacock, NBC, same channel. Wednesday, to be determined. Friday, to be determined. Saturday, to be determined. So we'll have to see. Interesting stuff. For the Guardians, we have, since last Thursday, Friday, May 1st, they won against the Athletics 5-1. Cool to see. Saturday, they won against the Athletics 14-6. Sunday, they lost 7-1. Monday started our KC series, which we lost 6-2. Excuse me. Our first game. Tuesday we lost again 5-3, and then they won the last game 8-5, which now makes the Guardians 19-19. Sorry, 2019 sitting at 500. Oh yeah, we played Wednesday as well. Sorry, not so the 8-5 game was today. Wednesday, they also beat the Royals 3-1, which is awesome to see. That's how I was wondering how we got 2 more wins. We played Kansas City again. That was today at 2:10. Tomorrow we play versus Minnesota. Wow, 7:15. Saturday Minnesota 6:10. Don't expect us to win tomorrow because that's not much of a break. Sunday play against Minnesota. 1:40. Tomorrow's on Apple TV. There's other 2 games on MLB. Monday we play against LA on ESPN and MLB TV at 6:10. Play against Angels. We play against the Angels again at 6:10 on Tuesday, MLB. And then Wednesday we play them at 1:10, early game, MLB TV as well. And then next Friday, we'll talk about a little bit more of the next sports show. We play against Cincinnati. The series starts, 15th of May, 7:10. Love to see it. I've been loving baseball. That's really it for me, guys. Went a little bit long today, actually. A lot of talking. I really appreciate you guys for stopping by. Come and do the sports show. We know if you start a sports show here on the Lead Doodle channel that we like to have every week. We didn't have our other show, news show this week because of this being busy with stuff going on. We'll be back there, though, Monday at 8:30. We'll be back here, Northeast Iowa Sports Show, next Thursday, 8:30 as well. Please stop in on the weekend news show, though. That's where we get a little bit more views. It's pretty good. Just talk 2 local a lot of times, or 1 local, 1 international, 2 international. Sometimes it was different topics. Always have a funny topic in there, like here, too. I kind of always like doing that. Hopefully we can get Hunter in here some more. I know I've been talking with Trevor about getting a better schedule. He's off this weekend for if we want to try to do healthy living. But maybe not Sunday with Mother's Day. Might be a bad day. Maybe later in the day. Or maybe we can find a time in the week we're trying to get going as well. I've been a little bit busy personally with stuff. Just interviews, trying to see stuff out there. So really appreciate everyone stopping by the Lead Doodle channel. Make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe if you're not already. Ring that bell to be notified when we go live. So appreciate any support. I couldn't post when we went live today on Facebook because I have to upgrade security on there. Give them my phone number, and I already have a number. I don't know. I need to check that out. Fix that out. So I hope everyone has a great day, and one more day. Friday, guys. Almost Friday. Peace.